Two big ways that loans blow up. Yes, this is the behind the scenes reasons that loans blow up. So I talked to CJ on my team. CJ is a magical, mystical man creature that makes sure that every single loan in my life, as soon as it goes to processing, it magically closes with as little drama as possible. That is always our goal. And he's the one where if stuff pops up, he's dealing with it. If it's like, this wild, crazy stuff that we're about to talk about. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up to you guys is because it's not intentional. As a buyer, as a consumer, the stuff that you guys think isn't a big deal in our world is. Right? So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say that you own multiple properties, okay? And you're like, well, I don't have loans on any of them. Like, I just want a loan on this one. Why would you even care? Like, they don't have loans. Why do you care? Well, the reason we care is that part of your debt to income calculation is including the property taxes and insurance on those properties. So we have to have the full list of every single property you own, if there's any mortgages. Now, the other thing people say is, well, I have a private note, but like, I don't want to deal with that. Oh, okay. Like, I feel you. Private notes can be really hard from a documenting standpoint. And so a private note would be like a hard money loan. It might be a loan from a family member. But the bottom line is that if you own property and you have any sort of lien attached to it that you make monthly payments on, we have to know about it. Simple, okay? And I don't think that people exclude properties purposely most of the time. There are some people where literally I'll be on the phone, they'll be like, well, I've got 14 other properties and they're really heavily leveraged, but it's all private, so you won't see it. Yes, I will, okay? The misconception is that we can only see mortgages. So if it shows up on your credit report, we'll see it, but if it's not on your credit report, we won't see it. That is the misconception, because what we're doing is we're running, I call it my Scooby-Doo. It's the Scooby-Doo report, and it's a third party, and what they do is they verify properties that you own. So basically anything in your name, land, whatever, marriages, divorces, bankruptcies, short sales, foreclosures, and then also businesses. It's like a whole little background check. It's pretty interesting. And the properties come up on that. So if you're purposely trying to, not include properties because you won't qualify and you get a pre-approval from a lender, so you think you're home free and clear, no, not necessarily. Most lenders, and I say most because I don't know what every lender in the country does, but like I've never worked at a lender that doesn't do this. They all have the Scooby-Doo report. And the reason they have the Scooby-Doo report is that the investors want to make sure that the applications are accurate. So really what a lender does, our entire job, is verifying that everything you've told us is true. And we do it in a multiple of ways. That's why we want bank statements. That's why we want W-2s. That's why we want property tax statements. That's why we want HOA statements. Oh God, it's exhausting for me too. I just refined. We have to verify every document. And then where there are these third-party companies that verify information, they're also brought in. And it's the Scooby-Doo report that is going to make it so if you're trying to hide properties from us, we're going to find it. Now, the only one I've seen recently where it was intentional, it was super weird. It was like, oh, like the person had like 4 properties and they're like, I didn't know that you needed that. Really? Like, it was super sus. And it blew up in the middle. It wasn't something we had fully underwritten. As you guys know, I am a big fan of fully underwriting every loan during the pre-approval process. And it's because stuff like this comes up that I don't think you guys are intentionally trying not to tell us about, but it can affect you. So you're like, okay, who cares? I listed the properties. Well, it can affect your debt to income. So if you're approved and your debt to income and then all of a sudden I've got more debt from properties, your debt to income could end up at 50 or 60 and you may not qualify anymore. Okay, so when I'm constantly preaching about, guys, these 1-minute pre-approvals, these too good to be true quick pre-approvals, they're garbage. You really need a lender who's going to spend the time, energy, and effort to make sure everything's correct. And it's not because you guys are trying not to tell us stuff. It's because the stuff that you think we would never care about, we do. Okay, that's the first one, undisclosed properties. The second one is undisclosed businesses. Now, once again, this is a potential liability. So what I'll see a lot is let me give you an example. I have a sore throat, so we're gonna use a doctor. A doctor is getting W-2 $200,000. She's buying a house, okay? And let's say the house is $400K. We look at all the numbers. We're like, awesome, easy peasy, no problem. Because she's like, yeah, I'm a W-2 doctor at the hospital. We're like, great, okay, cool. So we get her W-2s. Now, during my process, since I do the full underwrites, during my pre-approval process, this would come up. But with most lenders, they don't do that. So they're gonna get into contract, doctor's gonna find her dream house, and then in the underwriting process, they're gonna pull the Scooby-Doo report. Well, guess what? She has a side business. She started a supplement company, and it's in the beginning stages, and she showed a $100,000 loss the year before. Oh, those losses, man, I'll tell you guys. And so people are like, well, the business lost money, but why does that matter? It has nothing to do with my W-2. Yes, it does. So as a lender, if we're looking at your income, if you say, hey, my boss pays me $500,000, but I started this company where I lose $600,000, you're losing $100,000 a year, because we look at your money as one pot. You've got money from that W-2 employer coming here, but guess what? You've got this business bleeding it dry over here. Okay, so it's really important that you guys know, if you have any self-employed businesses, to please tell us, because otherwise we won't find out until the Scooby-Doo report. And if you're someone who didn't go through the full underwrite process, that can put you in a position where you may not qualify for the house you're in contract on. You know, I'm definitely preaching, but I like the full underwrite once again, because if this comes up during that, we can have the conversation of, hey, this is what's going on. You now qualify for this. What's going on with this company? You know, because maybe the supplement company had a killer 2021 and she's going to file those taxes and it's going to show an increase and then I don't have a loss. There's a lot of stuff at play, but the key is going to be talk to your lender about it. Okay? Because you don't want to be in a position where you think you filled out the application to the best of your ability, you have a pre-approval, so you think you're bulletproof, you get into contract and the whole thing blows up over these two things. I have literally seen loans blow up for side businesses that people are like, oh my God, I didn't realize that, you know, writing off the income from my DoorDash would affect my normal income. And it's like, yeah, guys, it does. So really important to be mindful of this. Now, even if you have enough income where the loss doesn't matter, as soon as we find that business, it does trigger 2 years tax returns, as well as a year-to-date profit and loss. And those are super fun. Google profit and loss, because you'd have to start putting that together as two. So the key part of this video, I mean, there's so many key parts. Number one, I am licensed in 48 states. You can book a time on my calendar. I am happy to talk to you guys about your scenario. We fully underwrite every single pre-approval. I get really angry when people don't want to go through the process. If they're like, well, I just want a quick pre-approval, I literally will say, look, I understand that's what you want. There's lots of lenders that will do that. If you want to work with a lender that's going to do that, do it. It's just not me. I want everything perfect, because the thing is that when you guys are in contract, you've got money on the line. We do not want to waste that money. I say it in every video. We're not going to waste money when we can prevent it. Why would we? Why would we? Okay, so number one, get fully underwritten so that you don't even have any of these Scooby-Doo problems. Number two, you know, if you're working with a different lender because you're in Rhode Island or Utah, the two states, excuse me, I'm not licensed in, talk to your lender. You know, if you have any businesses, self-employed businesses on your tax returns, make sure you talk to it up front. Even if they're only asking you for W-2s, this will come up in underwriting when they pull their Scooby-Doo report. And then with the properties, if you think you can pull a fast one on a lender by not listing your properties, it's going to come up on the report. So, you know, is it a pain getting all those documents for your properties? Yeah, it's a pain. Suck it up, get it done, do it up front so that you're properly qualified. As always, guys, thanks for watching. watching. I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any videos that I have not done that you think I should, please let me know. And if you're like, gosh, I wish she would do this, has she done it? YouTube has this cool thing where you can search my channel, and like I always get like, can you tell me how to shop lenders? And I'm like, I have like 19 videos. If you put in the term, all those videos will come up, but I am always happy to do whatever you guys want. I appreciate you guys watching me. There's so many of you guys where we've already worked together, and I really appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to talking to all of you. So that was my 2 big scaries. Thanks for watching.